welcome everyone that's joining us now here at the ITB Hotel Tech Track. Thank you for being here, and everyone who's staying with us, thank you for choosing us. And without any further ado, because we have no time, we have to hurry up, it's my absolute honor, and I have to admit I'm a fangirl. I'm an absolute fangirl. Maybe one of the reasons I'm still excited about our hotel industry so much is citizenM, and we managed to get them here today, the CIO on stage. So please, everyone, give me a warm welcome for Mike Rawson, the CIO at citizenM Hotels, being here today for us. Thank you. The stage is yours, Mike.
Hi, everybody. Let's check if the technology's working. Yeah, very good. I passed the first test. I can stay CIO for another day. So we're going to share a little bit with you guys today. And citizenM, for those of you who don't know, is a global brand started in the Netherlands 15 years ago. And we're built on affordable luxury. So we offer what we would call a small and economy-sized room with a huge bed, great shower, and then what you will get is a fantastic lobby with the latest and greatest interior. And that is coupled with an amazing set of ambassadors who is really the secret sauce of citizenM. And my role is to ensure that I set up the ambassadors to really maximize their time with the guests and really set up the tech stack so that the guests can have, let's say, a really distinctive and friction-free stay. So I've been in it for 6 years with citizenM, and before that I was with Heineken, and my strange accent is because I'm from New Zealand originally, so I'm a long way from home. So to really make sure we maximize this today for you guys, let's just figure out who's in the audience. So who's thinking about changing their PMS? Definitely not me. Any of you? None of you. That can't be right. That's lies. Some of you must be. There's one, thank God. Okay. So, and who also at the moment is agile? So which of you guys are starting to do things agile? Do you do sprints or Kanban or anything like that? One. Oh my God. We're going to have a beer afterwards, me and you. We're friends already. Okay. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you, we had to change our PMS. So we were on a legacy system. We were last man standing. So we had a very old piece which was really constraining us. So I'm going to show you how we actually used the need to change our PMS to also do a digital transformation with citizenM and to actually end up with, at the moment, a very modern tech stack, and I'll talk about some of the magic that we can do courtesy of the latest tech stack. Also good to talk about the core partners. So today I don't have suppliers, I have core partners, so that's how close they are. So Apaleo, Triple, we use I Reckon You as they've been with us 15 years. And for those of you who do want some RPA, and I can see that there's a lot of you still very fragmented stacks, we use a company called Appy, aphy.com, and they only do hospitality RPA. And when I started 6 years ago, we had 32 RPAs running, and now we've got maybe 6. Why? Because our stack is basically modernized. So let's get to that. Yeah, so the shift from legacy to API first. Well, what does that really mean? Well, that means that having a screen which you type stuff in, and that's the only way to get in and out of your tech stack, means you guys have got no show of doing anything clever. So the move, and that's why you have to use RPA. If you have a really old piece of crap, you're going to have to RPA it. And so that was what I walked into 6 years ago. And you need to ensure that if you're going to do your PMS, make sure it's as flexible as you want it. So we spent 12 months in our PMS selection process. We had 9 PMSs on our long list. We ended up with 3 on our short list. Everyone always asks me what 3, so we were Amadeus, we were Muse, and we were Apaleo. And then we chose Apaleo. So that was 2 years ago, and we'll talk about the actual migration project as we get through. Yeah, it is a core enabler. So your PMS, it's just going to dictate what you can and can't do. So don't want you to underestimate that. And I know it's what you carry around, but you shouldn't think of it like that. You should think of it in terms of what can I do to get to the guest journey and to help the employee and automation at scale. So we realized that we're going to have to change the engine, and you're changing the engine while you're driving along the motorway at 100 kilometers an hour, and you can't screw that up. So it is quite a technical, complex, difficult change, and we realized we might as well leverage that and take everyone on the whole organization on the journey and use what is basically something risky to use it as an opportunity. Yeah, so it's only one slide, this one, but there's a lot here. So the team did an amazing job. Core partners, team. We basically rolled out 36 hotels, 8,650 rooms from memory, in 8 weeks. No rollbacks, right first time. And we're super proud about that. And you guys, if any of you have got the scars from your PMS upgrades, you'll know that's a good trick. And I'm going to give you the learnings and the lessons from that a little bit further in the presentation. But this was the subject of a lot of work. It wasn't by accident. And you have to basically really commit to get this kind of result. So here's my marketing or hate my slide because it's so horrible, but I made it. So here it is. So everything that I do and the team does has to end up in personalization at scale or automation at scale. So either I'm supporting the guest journey or I'm supporting the ambassador journey. And I'm either adding value or I'm removing friction from that. And everything that we deliver is basically going to go to that. And I think for you guys who are drowning in AI, so outside here, there's never been so many shiny toys. So you have to ensure that you're thinking about what you're going to apply that technology to in the beginning. And you're going to find all sorts of distractions out there. But what I do to triage how we deliver our tech is we make sure that we're deadly focused on that. And when I get onto Value Driven Agile, that ensures the focus is always on the customer journey and the ambassador journey. Down the bottom, those are our crown jewels, so that's what we'll die on the hill for. So basically, the data, the PMS, and the APIs, that's critical for us to deliver. Yeah, I couldn't come to the stage without an AI slide, so here you go. So I see this, it's a really big opportunity for you guys with a lot of legacy, because on the left-hand side, you can put your data, you can put all the horrible stuff that you've got. And there's a real opportunity to leverage the AI to, once again, come back to the guest and employee journey. So, and I think it's a once-in-a-generational opportunity. So the last time was the cloud when it came along, and I was around for that. And this one is AI, and I think this one is just as big as the cloud. So I think you have a really big opportunity to leave behind some legacy and jump forward. So I think that's what you should take away from today. Yeah, so up the top is our customer journey. That's your business, and I'll talk about that. I've got one slide which shows your whole business, which is also my business, and basically it's pre-book, book, stay. That's your business. So at this point, you could say post-stay. Well, actually, that's the end of stay for us. So each one of those has a trigger and an output. And because we realized that customer journey at that top level, the PMS is just part of all of it. How can it be part of pre-book, you say? Well, that's because the next champion, when he leaves and we want him to do the next booking with us, we need some information. So we realized then that we were changing everything by changing one thing. Yeah, so personalization at scale. Let's have a little look what citizenM's been up to. We can do a lot of tricks. So if you stay with us and you basically change the lights in your room, and 30% of our first-time stayers, when I go outside the hotel, there's always a disco extravaganza going on outside because everyone's playing with the disco lights. It's like the first thing that guests do, so we love that, and we know our guests love that. But you have to have a profile first, but we can give you back the temperature that you had last time, the room lighting that you had last time, all of the things that go on with the TV, if you want Spotify, all those types of things, we have it. But to make the most of it, you also have to have a profile to support it. Also here, so we know what your favorite drink is, so you guys have all got your folios. That's a really important source. You can, for example, you can point some AI at that and it will do some impressive things. yeah, we also can do, those things are pretty easy. Tricky things are like the dynamic room check-in. So what's that? Well, when you check in, generally, the women would like a warmer room and the guys would like a colder room, and you can literally see when our guests come in because the wife comes in first and the room goes up to 22, and then the husband comes in and the room goes down to 18, and then it goes like this all day. But when you check in, if we know that you like a cooler room, we can look in our data, we can see right now the temperature of that room, and we can basically allocate that to you. Good for the planet, recognition at scale, and you basically get less friction in your day. You don't have to change the temperature. Walk-in check-in. So we think we can do a walk-in check-in these days. So how would we do that? Because when you hit the Wi-Fi with a bit of magic, we'll probably know it's you. And if you have the app, we can send you a message to say, open the app, you're in room 404, off you go. So we're really excited about the next steps for us, because we've got a lot of capabilities we can deliver. And then on to Value Driven Agile. So how does that relate to this? Well, we realized that we just needed a much, much tighter focus on the customer journey. So the PMS was enabling us to deliver a lot of functionality to the business. And we realized that we still weren't really focused, weren't fanatical about the customer journey. So 50% of transformations fail, and of that 50%, a big chunk of them are unhappy with where they end up with Agile. And there's a lot of things there that some of you will recognize. The worst ones are that the fixes that you need to do, the legacy fixes and things that are wrong, always get left behind because basically they want the new cool feature, this shiny spinning wheel with selection. That's a classic fight. Budgets are another one, so you go Agile and then basically the budgets get lost in the Agile process. So there's a few things that the VDA is going to fix, and here's all of them. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but this framework is applicable if you're already running Agile. And if you're not running Agile, this is a very safe way to implement it. And especially at the C level, it works, and especially for budgeting. And that's probably what makes it unique. And here's your business. So every single one of you that's in hotels, here it is. It's only 3 value streams, and I'm only at the top level. And the more mature you are, the more value streams you'll have underneath it. But you have pre-book, book, and stay. And each one of those has a trigger and an output. Stay. Trigger is the check-in. And basically the end of it is the checkout. Yeah? Underneath that are the domains. What's a domain? A domain is where related work occurs. So the blue one is business. And business is accountable for pre-book and book. And the green one is hotel. So that's operations. They're responsible for executing the guest stay. And underneath that is everything that you always forget to think about when you're doing all your other stuff, and that is shared services. So HR, legal, procurement, all the stuff that indirectly has to support that customer journey. It's just as important. I think it's also important to know that just by using this, you can also budget this way. So we can have our C-level, including me, go and land our strategy for the next year. And it's as simple as saying, okay, so next year we want to do a B2B emphasis. We're really going to go hard on B2B. What does that mean? Okay, well, we're going to do a lot of work in pre-book. Book's going to be okay, and actually stay's going to be reasonably unchanged. Allowing you to start putting your strategy down into the organization at that level and start allocating your ideas. You can also finish that round and say, yeah, guys, 80% of our stuff is not in stay. And actually, the only way you're going to build your brand and get your NPS up is when they stay. So we also see a lot of times that people get so excited or focused on book and pre-book, but the only way your brand is going to grow is when they stay. And so we also have to we fundamentally make ourselves focus on that and make sure we're not over-allocating into all the revenue activities and all those types of things that will automatically get your attention, all of the OTA stuff. It's all only happens when they stay. And it's easy to forget that. Yeah, so let's do the key takeaways from the PMS migration. So first of all, we did 12 months' work before we pulled the trigger. And we had our best people in the business, and we pulled them into the project. We had our core partners integrated from day one, so we all had Slack, and we were all collaborating. And we had a very structured approach, similar to those domains that I showed before. We had work streams, and we basically were able to, let's say, do some dry runs early on, and it was about building up over time the capability to have a guaranteed go live. So dry runs, making a run book. So by the end of the 40th hotel or 38th hotel, we had a 600-step run book. So we had this run book, which was just this fantastic output, and we could just literally lean on that for every single one of the hotels that we did. And by the end of it, we even did 2 in one day just for fun, just to see if we could test it. And it was probably a bit too much, but it was a lot of fun. The takeaways are, it is risky. You have to have operations on board from day one. You have to have all of the people. The finance elements are also, don't underestimate those. The testing, and then we do POC, pilot, rollout. So every time you do this, when we roll tech out at citizenM, proof of concept, pilot, one hotel, rollout. That's how we roll. So never big bang, never anything crazy, and using that formula, you'll be fine. And I think I'd also like to spend a quick minute. Whatever you are going to do in your business, there's only 3 pillars that you need to solve: people, process, technology. I spend most of my day in people and process. I actually spend a very small amount of time in tech. So if you're going to put something into the organization, it will fail unless you sort out the people, the process, and the technology. Okay, so whether it's AI or not, it doesn't matter. That's the core mantra. If you take anything away from today, take those 3 items away. Because if you look at stuff that's failed, it's always in those 3 buckets. Yeah, what's next for hospitality? I've only got a minute. The bottom is really important. The guest, the consumer, your guest, has continuing to invest in technology at home, and they are continuing to bring that expectation to your hotel room. You will not escape that. So if you, no matter which boardroom you're in and no matter which budget and eventually that's going to be a consumer decision. So at the moment, I've got no casting in my hotel. That's okay, but it's what I would like. So next time I wouldn't go back there because there's no casting. This is going to drive the consumer adoption and your guest adoption, your NPS, and many other factors. And ideally, you want to get as close to the consumer tech as possible. So, for example, Alexa now has an Alexa for hospitality. That's fantastic. You press the button and then big red light, they're not listening. Why? Because there's like 100 million of them out there. So if the guest comes in and there's an Alexa there, they probably know what to do. Google Chromecast, why is that so successful? Because adoption is basically instant and it's reliable tech. So you should start thinking about getting as close to your consumer trends as possible. And obviously it still needs to be cheap and it still needs to work. And you still have problems because some of the B2C stuff is not good for B2B. So if the guest's forgetting to log out of their Netflix account and their Apple account, that's a problem. So you need to be able to solve that. Yeah, so I think you got the idea that this for us was part of our whole digital transformation. We're now capable of doing very interesting things on our journeys and quite quickly, and we're ultra flexible. Leave you with this because I'm going to wrap it up because this is good. And now with AI, this is super true. So today, if you take anything away, take this away. Yeah. Computers are incredibly fast, accurate, and stupid. Humans are incredibly slow, inaccurate, and brilliant. That is actually 100% true, more true now than it ever was. So you need to, hats off to Albert Einstein, but I really think that's a great quote to finish on. And that's me. So basically, if you want to talk to us, I'm around for the whole day or 2. There's a lot of people asking me about PMS. Come and find me. I'm happy to talk to anyone about any questions that you've got. And I think you guys should yeah, it's a huge opportunity to embrace the tech, but you have to stay focused, and it has to be either for the guest or for the employee, and you have to get that automation at scale or that personalization at scale. Thank you very much. That's it.
Wow, thank you so much. Mike Rawson from citizenM, thank you. Thank you for being here.
That's good.
Really enjoyed this. Make sure to pop by the Apollo booth for the community get-together. It's a nice crowd of people I can only recommend. A lot of fun for sure.